What is good, lottery stocks fam? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. This is going to be a long video, and I'm sorry it's going up so late today. But you want to pay attention to GameStop, AMC, Beyond, and I'm going to talk about a couple of cryptos as well as the SPY. First of all, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. We have been in this very odd or unique pattern that is aside or apart from the 4-year cycle. And I'll explain what that looks like. So back in 2022, we saw a 160-day pattern somewhat play out, at least since we have started tracking it. Now, what you know is from a bottom to the next bottom, you get 160 days. In between, you get some sort of top. The same thing happens from the bottom to the next bottom. In some way, you get some sort of top. And then the same thing happened until we reached 2024. And in the midst of 2024, we got institutional adoption. Institutional adoption of Bitcoin began to gain momentum in 2024. Then you had a switch. What happened during this switch? Well, we first noticed a double bottom. So we had a low, then you had a second low. And the following cycle, you had the same thing, a low, and then the second low. Now, 111 days from the top to the bottom, from the top, you had a bottom, 111 days. The cycle was then shortened. Less drawdowns, which makes sense as institutions adopt Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin. ETFs hold Bitcoin. Same thing from the top to the bottom would be December 2nd. 111 days from the peak we saw, or the relative peak we saw, August 15th. And then I believe we saw a false peak in October. Okay, what does that mean? That means Bitcoin could possibly be at a bottom where it's at. We also dipped into 3 retracement zones that we had on the chart, as well as bounced off of this level that indicates a ascending support level following the institutional adoption, or a diminishing return level where you sell below, or you sell above and you buy below. And we rarely trade below, especially after the institutional adoption. We got a bounce on this level so far. Bonk or other altcoins are showing a 10% increase today with a beautiful double bottom or W pattern right here, indicating we should see another move higher. The last time we saw this W pattern was in March of 2025 when the markets bottomed out, March, April, and then we saw about a 500% increase the next couple of months in altcoins. So far things are pointing towards a possible bottom. However, we're going to talk about the SPY. But before I do that, since we're on the topic of crypto, Rain protocol has been disgusting. And nobody is talking about Rain protocol. And I am honestly very excited to get this on the channel today. This has rallied 24,000% almost since September of this year. Since June, July, September has ran over 23,000%. This is no joke to pay attention to. Why am I excited about this? I'm excited about this because we got a sponsorship. ENLV, or ENLV Therapeutics, has a crazy thing going on with Rain protocol. First of all, they have a price target of $10 to $13, which is about a 1,200% increase on the stock. But not only that, they have $2.49 per share worth of Rain. In other words, their stock, $2.49. Their value of their Rain should value their stock up here at $2.49. But on top of that, they secured a right to buy $918 million worth of Rain at 0.0033 cents. And it trades all the way at 0.0079 cents. On top of that, why is this so big, and why is Rain protocol doing what it's doing? ENLV will become the first US traded public company to provide investors with an exposure to prediction markets. ENLV pulled off a crazy pivot from a small cap biotech company to what they're doing now. They raised $212 million at $1 a share, and yet we're still holding $1, and then giving them years of near-term runway without dilution risk, especially with Rain rallying the way it's doing. I don't know why no one's talking about this company. Very under the radar, except institutions are picking it up. You can see institutions have been absolutely loading up on ENLV, and that's something that every retail investor has to pay attention to. So they also have board members, big board members joining. They also have other things going on with their biotech, their phases coming up, their clinical trials, whatever it is, right? Coming multi-year catalysts closing in 2026, 2027, possibly even further. And now they are a hybrid. So you have a biotech, which is very much so prone to huge rallies or short squeezes, on top of digital asset prediction markets. So what is actually going on with these prediction markets? They're basically market outcomes can be AI resolved, and the platform is governed by the RAIN token, which features built-in deflationary buyback and burn mechanism. RAIN is a fully decentralized predictions and options protocol built on the Arbitrum network. The protocol is fully permissionless, allowing anyone to create and trade custom options on any market. ENLV will use the proceeds from the PIPE to implement the first RAIN prediction markets token treasury strategy, while continuing its focus on the company's core business operations. This is huge. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. I'm going to leave it at that because I think that is enough. We, first of all, are watching RAIN protocol, but this company is out of nowhere, getting some crazy moves. They have the right to buy almost $1 billion more at 33 cents down here, or fractions of 33 cents, way beyond this recent spike. Now, before I jump into the SPY, let's talk about GameStop. GameStop also has a lot of bullish options coming through, call options. Some of them are from me, but not enough to move the needle. Some of them are probably from Discord members. Overall, it shows a bullish prediction going forward. Before we jump into the charts, Adam Aaron tweeted, AMC is delighted to be showing quite the special event at 200 of our US theaters, the series finale of the much acclaimed Stranger Things on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Very good for AMC. Partnership with Netflix showing Stranger Things should be a huge thing for AMC, and they continue to push out positive catalysts. Now let's talk about GameStop's chart. We are in a pattern that has been playing out to a T with what we were expecting. And you can see that right here in the black. Now, aside from that, what is this pattern that we're tracking? This pattern is what we saw back here before the May rally in GameStop. So you had this sell-off, this bottom, this mini rally before the great momentum began. This lasted exactly 40 days. Take a screenshot of this. You move over to where we're at now. This lasted exactly 40 days so far. That's today. So the 40th day is today. Right now, as we break above key resistance levels, we should see massive gains in momentum. We are also very close to earnings on Tuesday of next week. I am very much intrigued of the possible catalysts that we are about to get on GameStop, as well as this coinciding with the possible bottom on altcoins gets me very, very hyped. And I continue to hold my calls. AMC also building strong momentum. We talked about what it does. It builds this recovery off of a low, retraces, and then squeezes on. And also to note, just from a technical perspective, cup and handle, beautiful cup and handle, waiting for a move higher. Both very bullish. BYND picked up some steam yesterday, and I also want to note, first of all, yeah, keep BYND on your radar. It looks like they got some news here, but reality, I'm not marrying this play. Just watch for possible momentum. Shorts love to get out after, especially making a large profit from $8 shorting all the way down to 80 cents. Crowdstrike, I'm playing earnings tonight. Price target 600. A lot of people, or some people, are playing contrary to me, so they're playing the flip side. Earnings are YOLOs, so no one really knows what's going to happen. I'm risking to lose it all. For possible, you're risking possible moves towards 453, but ultimately price target 600, bullish on CrowdStrike earnings. We'll see that. By the time this video is out, you'll already know the outcome if I got smoked or not. So congratulate me in the comments down below if I got smoked, and that's fine because that just means some Discord members or whoever was betting against for this fun game made a bunch of money. SPY. Let's talk about the SPY very quickly. The secured overnight financing rate got a gap up. We're seeing similar stress we saw back in 2019 or 2020 when we saw this gap down on the markets. Now I'm bringing this in This is going to be probably confusing. Is the carry trade unwind over? No, it's not. You can look at the yields, and then you can look at Chinese airlines slash over 900 Japan-bound flights amid Taiwan tensions, completely separate. But it's also everything's affecting the Japanese market. Now, what do I have here? I have China versus U.S. This is what I call the excuse headline. The markets where they're at right now are trying to hold 681. We've been watching for a close above or an open above, and things are looking okay. We're trying to consolidate, but the last two times the SPY consolidated, we fell off a cliff, consolidated, fell off a cliff, consolidating. Are we going to fall off a cliff? Well, according to the secured overnight financing rate, it looks like banks are still tight on liquidity, or something is going on behind the scenes along with the carry trade unwind. As Bitcoin and crypto looks bullish, the SPY is still on very, very much so thin ice. If that brings things down, it will be a flash down before a recovery. That could bring Bitcoin down to 72K before a recovery. So far, it's unlikely, but it's still something to think about, especially that it's laying like that on behind the scenes. Plus, you have these island candles, or these cluster of candles. We can see that the sellers couldn't drop this lower. You have a wick, then the sellers really couldn't drop it. You have a higher high. And then these sellers really couldn't drop it. You have another higher high. However, you look on the flip side and we see buyers couldn't hold. Then buyers did bid up the price. Then buyers couldn't hold that top. Buyers did bid up the price. So you have this warning of direction. Now I have 684 on the chart and 678. You break one of these levels, you're likely going to trend that way. If the SPY breaks back into this channel, you're likely going to fall off a cliff and get rug pulled off of some sort of catalyst or the excuse headline, which is exactly what we saw. And we saw the SPY in about 1 day drop about 4% back in February, March of 2020. And that wasn't because of COVID. That was because liquidity concerns with banks. Again, we talked about it in the past. So long story short, I don't want to make this too long. What are we watching? Lottery stocks. Is the market bullish? Technically, the market for now is bullish until a very, very bad or negative catalyst comes in, if that happens. So we are on heavy watch, but ultimately, crypto's looking good. Rain Protocol, ENLV, or ENLV Therapeutics, beautiful penny stock at 95 cents, insane. GameStop's looking great. There is no complaints right now. No complaints. If you're not in the Discord, it's the top link in the description. Join my trading group right here. Or join through LaunchPass. They will both take you to the same server. We have the best vibes, best people in there, tons of AI alerts, and we make money in the Discord. Join now, guys. Don't sleep on it. That is it. Enjoy the rest of your night. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.